got a lifetime of knowledge.
Let me call Mimi.
Sounds better. And it wouldn't be a reunion if we weren't matching.
So true. And if it wasn't one of us joining at an extremely odd time, and it is 7 a.m., 7:07.
7 a.m., which is
in-
earlier than you would typically join because you are a corporate lady.
corporate lady now, which is so crazy.
Yes.
I know.
When do you have to leave for work? When does the commute start?
I usually leave at 8:30.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
Okay.
And it literally is like 22 minutes door to door. It's so fast.
Lovely.
So it's fine.
Lovely. Gotta love public transport.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
But to
Metro,
everyone
Metro.
listening, to anyone listening, Kayla and I haven't caught up since before Christmas. So this is
Yes.
a big reunion.
So long. I know we were texting, and then Lundie said, just save it for the pod. And I said, I can't. It's so far
Too
away.
much because we're recording this on January 8th. We think
Yeah.
maybe we'll release just like a welcome back, Happy New Year little debrief before we get into season 2.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
I know. Season 2, we have hopefully big plans. I say we have big plans, but we actually haven't really. I think both of us were so burnt out by the end of last year that we were like, don't talk to me about anything about 2026. So we've pushed it back a little bit.
It was silence. There was complete silence. I texted Lundie at one point. I was like, I think this is the longest you've ever gone not at the top of my message list on WhatsApp. And it was like 4 days.
So we have not. I think I posted like, Merry Christmas, everyone. We need a break. Caitlin is sick. I'm home. Happy New Year
Goodbye.
to you all, and goodbye. And we haven't picked it back up yet. So I have lots of ideas, but I haven't.
Same.
I haven't.
Yeah.
So we'll be back eventually.
We'll be back. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do you want to do, so Lundie and I did this thing where we talked about what was our word from the year before, and then what is our word moving forward into the next year. Should we do our words?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's do our words and then see if you set like any intentions or anything. We did like a woo-woo like burning of the paper thing for New Year, so I'll share about that too.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, wait, why don't you go first? I want to hear about this burning of the paper.
Okay, I'll go first. I saw it on Instagram and then promptly forgot about it. And then my mom brought it up, and because it was just my parents, my sister, and Luke and I on an island off the coast of Seattle, which was very dark and quiet and cold for 2 weeks. We had nothing to do but rituals, goal-setting rituals. So the idea is that you write down 12 or 13, maybe it's 13 goals for your next year. And then 13 days out from New Year's Eve, you cut them up and you put them in a bowl. And then each night you pick one goal out and you burn it without looking at it. And the idea is that you are setting your goal like out to the universe to get help with it. And then on New Year's Eve at midnight, I think you look at the last goal that's remaining. And then that one is the one that you are responsible for in the new year.
I was going to say 13 goals is a mega challenge. I was like, I can't even get to one goal if I set.
Survival.
So the universe is in charge of the first 12, and then you are in charge of the last. Okay.
Yeah, which I kind of like because it takes some of the, obviously, yes, there's a certain amount of like incentive and free will that comes into play, but it's kind of a nice concept that like you can release most of them and like hopefully that will come to fruition, but there's one that you choose that you're solely responsible for. So do you want to it's quite funny.
Oh my God. Can I hear yours?
Yeah, so mine was pretty boring. Mine was waking up at 7 o'clock every weekday because
nice.
Prior to and working from home, I would usually like go to Pilates 2 days a week, and then the other days I wouldn't have to wake up, so I'd wake up at like 8 or 7:15 or whatever. And I just feel like it's nice to have some consistency prior to starting work and like having coffee and just like taking a minute. So that was the one that I picked out, and
achievable.
We love that. And so far so good. This week I've been waking up at 7 and it's actually so nice. So we'll see if that continues. Riley's was to start investing. My sister, Riley's, was to start investing this year, which we love. So I said, we can help with that. Listen to the episode. Luke's was to marry me. That was one of his goals. Get married to Lundie. So that one's hopefully a done deal. Hopefully that one doesn't,
He's like, it's not done till the ring's on the
not
finger
done
and
till it's
she's
done.
walked
I
down the
know. And
aisle.
then obviously the rest of his was like climb every mountain, like run every race, and then the one that he's responsible for is marrying yours truly. So that was
Yeah.
good. And then my mom's was the funniest. Hers was was get a facial or a massage once a month.
We love it.
Self-care, self-care. And I walked up the next morning and it was taped just my mom's little piece of paper on the refrigerator saying, get a facial or massage once a month, just so that everyone was aware of what she now is responsible for. Yeah. But you know what?
I love
Self-care,
it.
and we love that. So.
Wait, do you remember your dad's? I don't know why I feel like this
Oh
would
yeah,
also
so
be
and
funny.
left my dad out, and his was to hopefully hit a financial milestone that they had been aiming for. Him and my mom had been aiming for several years. He didn't disclose beyond
Amazing.
that, but that's his goal. So very
Yeah.
funny and kind of like a fun exercise. But that was, yeah, 13 goals. You think that it's a lot? I too. I like sat down. I was like
Yeah.
13 goals, but they were like some big, some small. I think I was like continue having girls' night, like minimum one day a
Yeah,
week, like things that just like were
totally.
working or things that wanted to change. So good
And
exercise.
did you share each one with each other when you read it off? No. Okay.
No, I think, well, actually, I lied. My sister and my mom and I kind of brainstormed
Mhm.
for each other. Yes.
Oh,
Which
that's
which
fun.
was an interesting one, which honestly ended up in like an argument where I was like, "Mom, you're judging Riley's goals." And she was like, "You just told Riley that she wouldn't like do that either." And I was like, "Yeah, but your tone is a little, so like it was a
Yeah.
classic family activity.
I feel like that's a really fun thing also to like do with your friends of like a goal you want for your friend too,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, you could do it retrospectively. We did not do it 12 days out because we started doing it
Yeah.
3 days prior. So we actually ended up just burning 12 out like at once. We
Okay.
picked them out
Oh,
and
nice.
burned them.
Yeah.
And then we each read ours. And you don't have to tell anyone, whoever you're doing it with, what your end goal
Yeah.
is. You can keep it to yourself, but we shared.
I love it. I'm gonna make Steven do
Yeah.
this. Because last year we were really good about doing a goal setting, the two of us, both of us. He was self-employed and I was unemployed at the time, so we had all the
Yeah.
time in the
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
Um,
You're like, let's make a vision board.
Exactly.
Yes.
Literally. Literally. I'm like, Steven, get the scissors. But we didn't do it this year, and I was thinking about it, and this is such a good way to do it. And I feel like the burning element he can get behind because it's a fun activity for a boy.
It's a fun activity for a boy, and I like the concept that like it's not that high stakes or high pressure. Like in theory, now the
Totally.
universe will take care of all of my other goals. I had a great goal for the pod that apparently will be
I
taken
love it.
care of now. So,
Do you know?
okay.
I love that.
Yep. Love that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
but to bring it back, the other thing, do you want to explain what we've done the past couple of years with our one word?
Yes, yes. Okay, so we started doing this in one of the many jobs Lundy and I have done together, where we did our 2020 whatever planning in a January offsite. And one of the things that we did there was like, if you were to look at the year past, what would that a word be to describe that? And then moving forward, what is the word you want that year to be? So it could be like strength or money. I think I said money one year, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. I think I said money more than one year, let's be honest. Maybe like 3 years in a row, I was like, I'm gonna make money."
Yes. The
We
interesting
did.
thing is that I think when you reflect at the end of the year, you're like, okay, was that what the year kind of like encapsulated? And in some ways, yes, but I think so often it ends up being very different. So it's a way to like goal set,
Totally.
but then also reflect.
I know I was trying to remember what my year word was last year, and now I couldn't remember. And then all I thought is I probably said money again.
Exactly. Okay. Have we changed it up for this year?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did change it up for you this year.
Okay.
So if I look at last year, I real probably my word would be uncertainty for last year because we moved. We had no idea where we were going. We spent basically almost 8 months on the road trying to figure out what the fuck are we doing with our lives. Um, but I felt like uncertainty sounds really has like almost a negative connotation to it. And I don't know if it was negative because we did learn a lot along the way.
Mhm.
But Steven would say that I'm being annoying and I'm being an eternal optimist, where he was like, it's okay to say that fucking sucked, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know, but we learned so much. And like, look at all these things. He's like, Caitlin, it fucking sucked. That was a very hard eight
Yeah.
months. And I was like, yes, it was a hard 8 months. So uncertainty is probably my word for last year.
Yeah, yeah, and just to close out on that, I think but two things can be true, and you are always exactly glass half full. But I think acknowledgement that that was really fucking hard and like very
It was a hard year.
challenging, like probably very
It was a
challenging. Yeah,
It was a very hard year. Yeah, it was hard. Steven also, I like moved him from South Africa to Canada, and now we're in Montreal, which is a beautiful, lovely city, but it is negative 10 degrees or colder every single day. And we love the city, but sometimes we're walking the dog and it's dark at 4 p.m. and we're like, what the fuck
yeah,
are we doing? And then I think the other side is like, we're coming from Cape Town where it's summer while it's winter
yeah.
here. So you're looking at all of your friends in Cape Town who are like on the beach or on the mountain or doing whatever. And we're walking around in a circle with our dog who has to wear shoes because otherwise his feet will stick to the ground.
Ready,
So
like in the dark. I know moving anywhere
yeah,
in winter, also not to glass half full it, like moving
totally.
anywhere in winter is brutal because I think you don't get
Yes,
the benefit of the outdoors and the sunshine and like all that comes with spring and summer. So it will make spring and summer all the more sweet when it comes,
totally.
but it's not to say that it's not hard to be in a dark,
Not hard.
cold, and wet place for your.
Totally.
Well, my word, funnily enough, similar to you, I actually feel like
From la-
I forgot my
from
word.
2025.
Yeah, for 2025, which is, I think that going into 2025, I was even more burnt out, both of us leaving our past job than I feel like we even were at the end of 2025. So I feel like
Totally.
we probably had some discussion and we both were probably like, I don't know, I'm tired. Like, I don't have a word.
Recuperate.
Yeah, literally like recharge. And then, funnily enough, I feel like my word for 2025 was release. I was going
Ooh.
to, it was either that or like untethered because I think it
Okay.
was my first year, it was my first year without a full-time job since I started
Yeah.
working. And I felt very like untethered, like not stuck to any one thing. Well,
Yes.
in my personal life, I had an amazing year in my personal life. I got engaged, but I think so much of my identity, our identity, and like sense of purpose has been tied to work. So when that full-time job left, and then I was freelancing for the first time, which shout out to people who love to freelance and make that work and have the talent for that. It is not for me. I did not
That's
enjoy
very
it.
hard.
Again, great learning, but at the time, kind of sucked. And there was a lot of stress and anxiety around when my next job would come, my next full time thing would come.
Hmm.
So, yes, I think release of like expectations and release of like the need for stability and continuity in that way is probably how I see last year.
Yeah.
Okay, word for 2026. I can't believe it's 2026. It's like sounds so
No,
unnatural to
it's
say.
so crazy.
Word for
Okay.
2026.
My word for 2026, well, I have two. One is intention, because I just feel like whatever I put energy towards, I want to be thoughtful about it because I want it to produce a lot,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So
Totally.
intentional about where I put my energy. And then I really should have looked up synonyms because I have these words in my mind, but I don't know if they encapsulate it. But my other one is growth, purely out of like, I really want the podcast to grow and be bigger, but also like in work too. I started a new job on Monday and I feel like there's a lot of learning there.
Yeah.
So I guess I could have said intentional growth, but nope, two separate words for
Two
me.
separate words, and it's funny you say that because unsurprisingly, growth was in consideration for my word, but I ended up thinking
Yes.
something different. And I said, Riley and I, my sister and I were discussing it, and I was like, I feel like I could say growth, but like everyone wants to grow. So, like, that's not specific
Totally.
enough. And Riley was
Yeah.
like, it's funny you say that because that's not similar to my word at all. Like, she was like, no, her word actually, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing, was ease. She
Ooh, I
wants
love
like
that.
all things that she does and focuses on to not be easy, but to like happen
Mhm.
with ease. She felt like last year was a lot
Mm,
of like
friction.
intensity and like intense energy. She also lives in New York City, so like life in general is very intense. So she wants the people she spends time with, the things that she does to like come and go with ease, which is so different
Mhm.
than like you and I think being so like ambition minded that we're like growth and then hilariously
Growth and intention.
growth intention. And my word I think I settled on was momentum.
Ooh, I love that.
Momentum, like forward
Yeah.
movement, both in work and with this new
Mhm.
job also that I've started with the podcast and in my personal life, like getting married. I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
like move things forward. I considered also just go through the B
Yeah.
list,
Yeah.
foundation,
Ooh,
like
I like that too.
setting the foundation. I was kind of like, okay, let's like set the foundation for the podcast to grow, set the
Yeah.
foundation for like a really strong relationship and marriage moving forward. But then I was like, no, I don't really want to spend the year like building the foundation. I want to move things forward. But truly, if anyone is listening to this and has not done that exercise or has, please let us know. What's your word for 2026? I'm so curious because to your point, like not everyone's
Yeah.
has to do with growth. Of course, there's an element of personal growth that happens, I think, quite naturally, but like maybe that's not your focus. Maybe you want your word to be fun and your whole year is going to be
Totally.
focused on having fun. Or
Yeah.
like, what are some other?
Creativity
Yeah, yeah,
or
creativity. I like that.
yeah.
Like, or like, yes, like saying yes to
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
Or
Or saying no.
yeah. Or no. Boundaries is a
Yeah.
good one, having boundaries. So, yeah, very curious what everyone else's words are. Did you do this with Steven? I don't think I know Luke's.
No, we didn't do it. Our holiday period was crazy. We haven't done it. I was thinking I want to plan a weekend away where we do a little bit of planning, but
Yes.
that's more planning to plan, and
Yes.
maybe that's not intentional, and I should just plan in the house.
Or
Um,
plan a weekend away because you're going there with the
that's true.
intention of Luke and I did do our first ever, now that we're getting married, we did our first combined finance
Ooh.
talk start of the year with our
Hmm.
like current cash flows. I used a lot of from our merging finances episode,
Oh, good.
looking at what it looks
Nice.
like to merge finance and to talk about current assets, current cash flows, current liabilities, what we want for the
Hmm.
year, where we're going to put our money. And I, for the first time ever, went into my Chase banking app and they give you your like year in review and they give you
Do they?
your
That's nice.
yeah different categories of your spending at a glance. And I mean shopping,
Yeah.
groceries, whatever, professional services, whatever. And it really makes you think. It really
It
makes you
really makes
think.
me think.
I know. But once I went through it and certainly
Hmm.
identified where I can cut costs, which is specifically shopping and travel. I had a really big travel year last year, so travel was
Yeah.
high. And this year will probably be less heavy on travel, but shopping was just like dumb. It was just dumb. And it
I
shows you your
know.
highest spend, like, and it was Amazon. And we don't even have Amazon in South Africa.
Honestly, I can totally see, like, I saw someone post the other day that their goal was to not buy anything online this year. And that, when you live in a world where Amazon is on your doorstep, is so hard.
Hmm.
Literally, Stephen ordered an Amazon arrived yesterday and it was a pack of batteries, but the box was so big. And we were looked at each other, we were like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like, why did we buy this tiny pack of batteries on Amazon? We can walk across the street to the grocery
totally.
store and get
Totally.
it there.
And if you need it that
Yeah.
badly, I remember my mom once ordered like paper towels to the house. And I was like, this needs to end. This is sick.
Yeah.
Like this is
Hmm.
crazy. So
Yeah.
much of it is just excess. And so anyway, all to say,
Mhm.
it was crazy to see truly how much money I spent throughout the year. In other areas, I was like, that's fair. I actually am fine with my health and wellness being Pilates and a pedicure
Totally.
every 6 weeks or whatever. That I'm actually good with. So
Fun.
I walked away from it being like, this was helpful. I felt, again, knowledge is power. And I feel like it's very easy
Knowledge
just
is
to like
power.
swipe. I was considering actually for this year taking Apple Pay off of my phone.
Oh, that's kind of
So that
nice. But then you have
when,
to carry your
yeah.
Well, I guess you could do what I do and have your card on the back of your
Or
phone.
just like
But
be
then that
intentional. Like when I bring my wallet out of the house, then I know that
totally
I'm spending the money. It's definitely not
spending.
convenient, but I feel like the tapping has just gone, at least for me, it's like out of control. I just think it's
Yeah.
like fake money. I'm like bleep, 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 like
Yeah.
tap,
Yeah.
tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
So, anyways, did that and felt good about that. I also, if I can continue preaching from my high horse, because I've had a very productive
Yes.
week this week, I made a
Yes.
dentist appointment.
Well
My
done.
mom always says, go to the dentist in January, get it done,
That's
get it over with.
a good one.
OBGYN appointment.
Oh my
Always.
God.
So that's what my mom always said is make your necessary appointments in January so that it's done and then you don't have to do it for the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
gyno appointment, dentist appointment. My car needs a service, unfortunately. So I'm getting car service. It's gonna be a very expensive week because I'm getting it all
Yes.
done at once. And I
Yeah.
hired a tax accountant. I know,
Well done.
which really, really needed. And the closer it gets to April, the more they get booked up. And so if you're listening to
Yeah.
this and you need a tax accountant, I'm using the online tax man as an expat. But ask a friend and say, who does your taxes? Unless you do your taxes, in which case you're better than me. But I don't want to do them. So I did all that this week and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
You're feeling good. That's good. I have done zero of those things. I ordered bedside tables this week. So
That counts.
there we go.
I can't wait to see them.
For our new apartment.
Yay.
Yeah, they arrived last night. I am very proud of you though. That's very good. I have done none
At
of
the
those
very
things
least, I
before.
feel like gyno and like mole
Dentist.
mapping, like getting your skin checked, those things. I feel like if this can be a
Yeah.
reminder to just make the appointment.
Yeah, I agree.
In conclusion of this little catch up, very excited to look towards 2026. We have a list of, just to pull up the spreadsheet, gosh, 39 potential topics
Yeah.
between the two of us that we're starting to reach out for. Should I read a couple of them in case anyone listening
Yeah.
has some experts in mind? Okay, I'll just go
Yeah.
down the list of it. Things that we want to explore. Give us feedback. Is this worthwhile? Would you listen to this? Do you know an actual expert that could help us cover what the fuck is a narcissist? Quantum computing, AI,
Mhm.
toxic relationships, insurance, question mark, truly, what is insurance? Domestic violence, menopause, big one, perimenopause and
Mhm.
menopause, Botox and injectables, filler. Let's see, inheritance. What the fuck is an inheritance? What happens when you get one
Yeah.
of those? Surrogacy, I think a really
Ooh,
interesting
that's a good
one.
one.
Gut health, burnout, and one that we've been chasing for a while. So if you have a luteal phase or a cycle tracking expert, we're looking for one. Those are just a few.
Yes.
Write in,
Yeah.
let us know.
We're very excited. All of those I feel relevant in my life and everyone's life.
Amen. All right. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Knowledge is power. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.